BBC, first local radio station. Vietnam War protest. Expo 67 World's Fair in Canada draws 50 million visitors in 6 months. The year is 1967, and this Cadillac Coupe Deville could be had at your local Cadillac showroom. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that covers the lost and forgotten classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars. We do engine episodes on Wednesday. Tomorrow's super cool treat, 1916 to 1918 Chevy overhead valve V8. If that sounds like a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. This 1967 Cadillac Coupe Deville is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania, with over 870 cars for sale when recording this episode. And get this, anybody can go there. It's totally free to get in and out of that place. For more information, pricing, and pictures pertaining to this very car, be sure to click the link below after this show. 1967 Cadillac model lineup. You had the Calais, which replaced the Series 62, followed by Deville, Fleetwood, and then Eldorado at the top. Cadillac Deville first appeared in 1949 at the Motorama. It was part of the 62 line until it became its own model in 1959. Offered in 8 generations, 1967 falls in the 3rd generation, which was produced from 1965 to 1970. Designed by Bill Mitchell, built on the GM C-body platform. The 1967 Deville could be had as a 4-door sedan, 4-door hardtop sedan, convertible, 2-door coupe. 1967 saw a redesign, so let's compare 66 on top, 67 on the bottom, starting in the front. Pretend the car on top is a coupe, not a convertible. Same basic shape. These two are even the same color or very close to it. Both have the stacked headlights, but just look at how different those headlights look. Grills are completely different. Bumpers are different as well. Cadillac's script inside the bumpers is located in different places on the grille. Moving to the side profile with the marker, I should say cornering lights. They are different between these two models. The bumper side profiles are slightly different. Moving to the rear, which is where the biggest exterior design differences are. Take a gander at the rear and rear quarter line on the 67 that isn't found on the 66. Completely different tail sections between the two of these. Moving inside to take a look at the dash, which one do you like better? In the comment section below. Let's talk specs. 224 inches long, 80 inches wide. That's not counting the mirrors. 55.1 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 129.5 inches. It weighs 4,500 pounds. Price, $5,390, which is equivalent to you spending $49,331.57 in the year 2023. Total 1967 Cadillac production was 200,000 units, of which total Deville was 139,807. Of that number, 52,905 were the 2-door coupe variety. Moving on to engine, only one engine on offer, 429 cubic inch displacement, overhead valve, V8, 7 liters. It's good for 340 horsepower, 4,600 RPM, 480 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPM with a bore of 4.1 inches and a stroke of 4 inches. Compression is 10.5 to 1, built of cast iron. It is back to a 3-speed turbo hydromatic automatic transmission. 0 to 60 could be had in 8.3 seconds. Theoretical top speed 122 miles per hour. Average fuel consumption could be anywhere between 10 to 13.4 miles to the gallon. And these are all baseline numbers. These are all numbers for a jumping off point. Let's talk chassis specs. Front suspension, spherical joint, independent with coil springs, rubber mounted strut rods. Rear suspension, 4-link drive with rear coil springs and rubber bushings for a quieter driving experience. Rear axle, hypoid, electrical system, 12 volt, steering 16.2 to 1. This car is built using body-on-frame construction. Brakes, it has power brakes, self-adjusting shoes, front and rear finned drums. Let's talk styling. Just look at everything that is going on with this design. First off, the lights are stacked. Look at how far this protrudes outward past the headlight. These bumpers, look at how they wrap around. Also look at how many layers there are, and then it bevels down. Cornering lights, which is another one of my favorite features they don't put on cars anymore. You turn your turn signal on and this lights because the car's so long, so you can see the driveway and or corner that you're trying to turn. Hence the name cornering lights. Look at this gasket. Goes around. It's interesting. Look at how far back this grille sits. Running lights. Comes to a nice point there in the center. But just look at how this hood line bevels down and all of the lines that are going on. Look at here's a top-down view of all of the different lines in the hood design. So these, when you turn your turn signals on, this lets you know, it lights up and it'll let you know that your turn signals are on. Also, just notice the crease that starts right here and it runs all the way back to the A-pillar. Look at all of this stainless or bright work. It looks like stainless in this top. This car does have drip rails. Nice belt line molding. The whole body bevels down. Better angle so you can see it. Look at all those side lines. How this kicks up. This car does have fins. Look at how this is all designed. The trunk has a center line. Notice it's more protruded here than it is here, and then it just fades into the trunk. Windshield wipers are exposed. Has a cowl in the front. Side mirrors are mounted to the door, and that's what it looks like. Take a gander at these. Before getting inside, look at how this door handle is designed. There's a lot of heft to this door. Super heavy door. Armrest runs the length of the door. Door handle to get out. Door handle to pull the door shut. All of the window switches. Vent windows are crank operated. And the mirror is controllable by this. So this is interesting. There's an emergency button, a normal button, and a lock button for the windows. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, high beam switch on the floor right there, emergency brake and or parking brake, brake pedal, gas pedal. Just take a look at this interior. And that's what the seats would look like underneath this cover. It has this nice plushy cover. Here is what over the hood impression looks like. Here's what first person over the hood looks like. Underneath the steering wheel, there is enough room to put my hand in between my lap and the steering wheel. I wear size 36 pants, and the only reason I show that is because if you don't fit in this car, it's not going to be comfortable to drive. But it does look like this one has tilt wheel, so it's not really an issue because you can move the steering wheel wherever you would like it to go. On to the button switches and knobs. If I can direct your attention to the left side, there is a series of idiot lights going from the bottom to the top. Amp meter, oil pressure, low brake, trunk lock, cruise control, coolant temperature gauge, speedometer with odometer and tripometer, gasoline gauge, clock, map light, radio with radio controls, climate control settings, or this car has auto climate control. Notice the dial on the left is for temperature. The slider controls vent, off, auto is in the center, fog, ice, key. Going back to the left side, this dial, believe it or not, is to set the cruise control, headlights, windshield wipers, drive modes read, park, reverse, neutral, drive, low. Up above, there are sun visors and they look like this. Here's my hand for reference. It's got a nice big rear view mirror mounted to the top and another sun visor for the passenger as well as courtesy vanity mirror. On to the glove box test. There is our test subject. Here is my hand for reference. Here is the glove box in question. Oh man, look at that. And it fits in the glove box. Other creature comforts in the front seat include, but not limited to, this armrest. If you fold the armrest up, you can sit 3 people across here in the center row. I can't reach the other side. It's pretty far away. Down here is where the ashtray is, but not just one ashtray, 2 ashtrays, but 1 cigarette lighter in the center. Getting in the back, this one seems to have a back release, which is right here on the side, and it's a button, you push it in. Just look at all the bright work on the back of this chair. Also notice it has fabric on the back here as well, which is super interesting. That is all the space there is to get in the back. Here is what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at the pillar or the greenhouse. Here is what visibility looks like out the rear from the back seat. There is a nice shelf back there as well. I love those fins. Here's what the seat profile looks like. It's really not that comfortable back here. This is rather upright and this protrudes quite a bit down in the rear. So it feels like you're squatting. Knee space isn't bad, all things considered. Creature comforts, there are lights. There aren't any coat hooks on this side. There is 1 coat hook on that side as well as a light. Armrest in the middle. There is an ashtray, cigarette lighter, and the window does go down back here. This is what I look like. I'm 6'2", and I fit back here. If we had to take a road trip in this car, it would be doable for an adult. And I show that because if you're buying this car and you're going to go take it to shows and stuff like that and have a bunch of guy friends and want to just hang out, it's possible to do that in this car. There's enough space. Getting under the hood for a quick gander, and I apologize, my GoPro was acting up that day and the footage must have, it's almost like it never happened. Anyway, just look at how this engine is nestled inside this engine bay. Crazy thing is, this is 1967. This is the least amount of hoses. Like, the hose amount under the hood only increases from here. Dual master cylinder power brakes. This car in the picture has AC. I still can't get over the amount of hoses. Anyway, on the positive side, awesome luxury car complete with commanding driving position, built solid feel, comfortable front seats, armrests front and rear, camera fits in the glove box. Against it, rear seat isn't comfortable for full-sized adults. Big and thirsty. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. Two scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather have a 1967 Imperial Crown for around $6,011 or 1967 Cadillac Deville for around $5,390 or 1967 Lincoln Continental Coupe for around $5,550? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Moving to the second scenario, a bit outside the box. 1967 Ford Thunderbird for $4,603 or 1967 Cadillac Coupe Deville for $5,390 or 1967 Oldsmobile Tornado for $4,674. Gonna leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. I call it the After Party. Gives you the opportunity to share your rides, stories, experiences, and pictures. I wish YouTube would get to a point where we could share pictures on here. Be like a community bulletin board, but only better. Anyway, so there's those two, and then if you don't have Facebook and would still like to get in touch with me, send me an email. All of it will be linked in the description below. Just know I appreciate all of the support. And until next time, toodaloo!